Welcome to All About the Experiences. This is the final show of 2020, and boy, has it been a year. I started this journey with would have been my mom's 77th birthday on June 19th, Juneteenth in the African American community, and I'm now on my episode number 23. And I really feel like I'm starting to find my stride, my purpose, and look forward to, carrying all this into the new year of 2021. And let's hope that we're going to have more positivity and better things to come in 2021. That's going to be my new mantra. I want to thank last week's guest, Blocks, aka Jason Allard, for bringing a different perspective from the music industry, as well as talking about growth and generational wealth and spotlighting social and racial issues that not only plague the United States, but are also affecting our brothers and sisters in Canada. And I look forward to seeing more great things to come from Blocks. A going theme on my platform is lifting as we climb. And that was first introduced on this platform by my inaugural guest, Dr. Pamela Hardy Shepherd. And well, today's guest is purposeful in everything that he does. He is a strong proponent of lifting as we climb. He's a father, he's a husband, a community advocate, an author, motivational speaker, and a police officer. And I have to thank him for his service for sure. He often speaks on visualizing and actualizing your dreams through a roadmap of success. So without further delay, I would like to welcome Roderique, Rod McClain to All About the Experiences Living Without Limits podcast. Welcome, Rod. I am so happy to have you here on the platform.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. And then I feel like that introduction, I'm like, man, put it on a stage, put me on camera somewhere. I feel important.
Well, you definitely are important for so many reasons. Typically what I like to do when I have a guest for my viewers and the listeners is just kind of let them know how we have a connection and how we got to where we are right here in this moment. And I have to tell you, I don't remember how we connected, but I know that we're Facebook friends, we're Instagram friends. I go to your page for positivity. I mean, when Rod speaks, everyone listens. I know I do. And I am so thankful for obviously technology and social media, because it allows you to connect with people near and far. And definitely people who are making a difference in the community and bringing about change. And so with that being said, I'd like to talk about, what is this all about? What is Rod speaking about? Talk to us about what your platform is and how we got to where we're at.
So, everybody has a story. Oh, I came up super poor. And, it seems like people always want to be like in competition with who's the most poor. Like, oh, I grew up with roaches in my house. Well, I grew up with rats and roaches and they fought each other for the crumbs. But I just feel like through my upbringing and then through, I grew up in the South in Kentucky, and I was a high school athlete, college athlete. And then through athleticism, you're constantly having to uplift each other. You're constantly having to talk to people and just trying to, get the most out of other athletes. And some athletes have a natural athleticism. Some of them, they need to have something that they tap into that will make them kind of pull it out of themselves and, have that Rocky kind of moment where you're not the best athlete, but you find your lane. And whether that's basketball, wrestling, track and field, football, you're able to get it. So I've been able to kind of just uplift and motivate people from sports. I can remember in high school, my communications teacher was like, you speak so well and you can speak about a variety of topics. You should look at a guy named Les Brown. Of course, everybody knows who Les Brown is now, but
Absolutely.
In 1995, 96, I was just like, who? So I look him up and I said, I can do this. I go on to college. I major in communications, and double major, communications with an emphasis on TV production and then business management. But through communications, I was able to have news shows and TV shows on my campus. and it's Cumberland College. So in the South, it's one of the premier colleges in Kentucky. But when I moved here to Chicago, it's like Cumberland who, you know, so I came here thinking, oh, I'm going to be, you know, working for NBC. So I put the speaking to the side, do a couple of other little ventures. I become a police officer. And it was like as immediately when I become the police, I'm using the same de-escalation techniques and same, you know, inspiration to motivate people to, in some cases, not commit crime, some people not to go back to a certain lifestyle, and then even certain people that are in a particular lifestyle to be able to see that they can do something different than what they're doing. They can use the same principles that they have to do something more positive. My mom used to always say when I was growing up, everybody has energy in their system. So it's a certain type of energy you're going to use, whether that's energy for good or energy for something bad, but you're going to use that energy. So I just try to always focus on positive energy and then trying to make people reach the level of success that they want to reach. So all of my videos are all about success, all about reaching your fullest potential, all about making sure that people are able to just tap into their inner self and not listen to what negative naysayers are saying to them about success, because people will put their own self limitations on you, and then we value what other people say. So we could have someone, you could have on a beautiful outfit, and people will tell you all day long, man, that's a beautiful outfit, you look great. But one person tells you it looks terrible, now you're thinking, man, I
You're
probably do
questioning it.
look
Yeah.
dumb, you know. But I want people to realize you can reach whatever your level of success is. It's just that you have to keep challenging and motivating yourself to do it.
Absolutely. And I have to tell you, I tap into your page specifically because I think you have this series. It's called the Alphabet Motivation.
Yep.
And one that truly resonated to me, which is towards the end of the series, but it's the why, which is you. And
Yeah.
I think you said you must stop being the barrier to your success to start
Correct.
making the necessary changes to become successful.
Correct.
And it was pointed that I saw that day because I was contemplating a lot of different things professionally and personally. And I was
Mm-hmm.
just like, oh, I needed to hear this today. And you just bring so much energy. I mean,
Thank
I
you.
know what it's like when I've done a podcast and it's solely me, and you know who you want to reach, and you're trying to project, excuse me. But you definitely have a way with words, have a way with motivating people, and you are reaching the masses. And I
Thank
have to
you.
say, like, what you're doing, I mean, obviously from the introduction people can see that you wear many, many hats, have many titles, but I have to tell you, yes, for sure, I am wanting to thank you for your service. I have many
Thank
friends
you.
and family that are in the area, and knowing that, you know, we have one of Chicago's finest out there protecting our, protecting and serving. I really appreciate that. So from the
Thank you.
bottom of my heart to yours, thank you for your service.
Thank you. I received that. Thank you.
Absolutely. So tell me, like, how did you decide to become a police officer?
So there was a movie, and people always get on me when I tell them this, but when I watched Samuel Jackson in The Negotiator,
Yes.
he just had such a powerful character. And I said, man, I could be a police officer. Like, nowhere in my life did I ever say I wanted to be a police officer. I have an uncle that was a phenomenal police officer, became a detective, retired from the police department. But when we played cops and robbers growing up, like I was the robber, like nothing about me. Like even my friends back home, they're like, you're the police, like what? But Samuel Jackson in The Negotiator, him and Kevin Spacey, Samuel didn't, he knew that something, I can't remember now right off, but it was a crime that had been committed. Everybody in his department believed that he was guilty, and he asked for a negotiator from another department to come in. And just with the plot twist to where he was able to prove his innocence and using another police officer to be able to do it, I just felt like, man, you know, like there's so much that's going on in the city, especially here in Chicago. And I feel that in major cities all across the country, but when people feel that they have to call the police, they have already tried everything, whether that's going out and talking to the person, they've, you know, swept up the trash, they probably started block clubs or community organizations. So when they call for a police officer to come, I feel like they at least want to see the police get out and do something, engage in a discussion, give out resources, act like they're going to lock somebody up, make an arrest, do a search warrant, whatever it is. People need to have some sort of resource when they call 911. And I've been fortunate enough to be able to be in a lot of different units where I've been able to provide resources and safety and things for people all across the city, from the west side to the north side, south side. You know, a lot of people in Chicago like to say there is truly no east side because of the way it's set up, but people on the east side do believe they are east. So all over the city, I've been able to work.
I get it. I get it. Well, I claim East Oakland, and there is truly an East Oakland, but I get it. But we don't have a South Oakland. So I get it. Yes,
Yeah.
For sure. Well, speaking on that, I mean, obviously there's many layers and levels to being a police officer. And one of the things that I really find a lot of joy in when I'm looking at your social media and people that you partner with in the community is just you being a community advocate as well. And I mean, I think recently you partnered, and I hope I get this right, with Khadijah Warfield and the Black Girls Break Bread. And you guys fed over 150 senior citizens in the Inglewood area, correct, in Chicago?
Correct. Awesome. And it was a crazy thing that it came about like that, because her organization, and she wears many hats, so her organization actually does a lot of feeding engagements. And we had partnered with her to feed an entire block, like maybe 2 or 3 blocks of people that lived in here on the south side of Inglewood. But she actually does the same events all over the city. So she had contacted me and said she wanted to feed. She partnered with the Black Farmers Market, or Black Oak Center. So they're the same thing. They just kind of changed their name organically. And it's a group of farmers here in the Chicagoland area that have organic food, whether you have stuff that you want to, like you need certain types of vegetables for high blood pressure, or any type of medical treatment that you need naturally or holistically used. So they partnered together, and then she said, well, where can we partner and be able to feed 150 seniors? So I particularly right now work with senior citizens in the Inglewood area. So it was no brainer for me to go and pick one of the senior buildings that I knew that I've been able to partner with and do a lot of things. And we were able to feed over 150 senior citizens in there, you know. So it's been a blessing to be able to partner with, you know, Khadijah Warfield. We've partnered with Gen Care Medical Center. We've been able to, just last night, we went and drove around Inglewood. I was dressed as Santa Claus, and we went to 10 different senior citizens' houses and blessed them with over $200 each in supplies, from crock pots to comforters to robes, warming socks, heaters. There was like some type of body massager. So like when you sit down on the couch, they could have their body kind of massaged and heated, leg massagers, stretch bands, because a lot of times senior citizens, they don't want to go outside when it gets to become too late because they're fear of young people knocking them down or anything. So they may not get the level of exercise that we all naturally get because of the fact that they're complacent and sitting in the residence. So we were able to get them things that would allow them to have exercise, movement, physical, you know, movement while they're still in their residence. But on top of it, even though we did 10 singular residents, we were also going on each one of the blocks. I'm like I said, I'm playing Santa, so I was able to take pictures with a lot of youth, a lot of seniors. We were giving out gifts and things to all the seniors. We even had hot plates that they would be able to use, so you can just plug it in. You could cook on it like a hibachi grill. So we gave out a lot of those hibachi type of grills, and it was just an overall fun event, you know. So I've been able to do a lot of things. Like I tell people, I love my seniors, so I consider all of my seniors to be like my parents or grandparents, and I treated them the same. So we have a senior citizens law enforcement academy where we'll have different law enforcement officers come in, from the helicopter unit to K9 to SWAT to bomb squad, and just be able to talk to the seniors. So that way, when they're done, I tell them, don't go out trying to lock nobody up. You're not going to be able to lock people up once you get this certificate. But they have a better understanding, because some seniors will say, when they see the helicopter in the sky, they feel like, I have to go inside because the police are looking for people. But the helicopter will come and tell you, or that helicopter pilot was telling them that when the helicopter is out, it's actually just riding around like the police do in the regular squad cars. You just high
Patrolling.
visibility policing. So there's no need to be fearful and things. And having the SWAT team come out, they show them different weapons, search techniques, and things that they do. We have K9 unit come out and they put on a full all-out display with how the dog is able to find, different things, but to the dog is just, it's a treat. They want to go find whatever it is in order to get their treat, and their treat is just a dog toy. So it's been a phenomenal experience being able to work with senior citizens and just being able to work in the Inglewood community, because much like I'm sure Oakland, I don't know the stats on Oakland, but I'm sure that a lot of people figure there's certain areas of Oakland that it's crime ridden and you can't go there, and people are doing this and that. But there are so many people that are in Inglewood, as I'm sure in Oakland or East Oakland or something, and they just live there and they're not part of criminal activity or anything like that. So we have tons of organizations that are here in Inglewood that love the community, love to be able to provide resources to people. There's an organization, Think Outside the Block, with man, he's gonna kill me when he sees this. I can't even think his name right off, but Think Outside the Block, Fatal. So Fatal will go and provide Thanksgiving turkeys and Christmas presents to the entire community. Asia Butler with Rage, she came out with this. Pastor Tracy Lee with her church Reach, they come out. So we're able to build a lot of relationships and a lot of partnerships.
I love that. And it's about connecting. It's about collaborating and to uplift our communities. And that's really important. And I see that as like truly you live what you speak about. And it's very inspiring to me because because of right now, what's going on with the pandemic, we're all separated and, we feel like you're basically sequestered to your home. So you don't have that necessarily the interaction like you would have in the past. And hopefully in the future, we will get that back. But I think it's really important that you are an advocate in your community and you're showing a different side of, unfortunately, there's sometimes a stigma out there about, law enforcement that, things are happening. And I mean, we would be remiss if we didn't acknowledge that. But I also think it's really important because I have several members of my family that are not only military, but also law enforcement, that we share the other side. You hear about you don't hear about the 1,000 good things that are happening, but you definitely hear about the sprinkle or, the things that are happening. It's not to take away from definitely a lot of injustices that have come across, but you have great officers that are out there like yourself that are making a difference, not only to the youth, but also to our seniors, and just trying to really perpetuate this feeling of goodness and feeling of community. And I can't thank you enough for it. I definitely can think back to like what you were saying, growing up in my community in East Oakland. And I looked up to police officers because I recognized, like you said, those are the people that you called when you needed someone and, you wanted a response. But also I can remember police officers coming to, my school, and much like what you shared, doing demonstrations and having that, back and forth where we can share some things, and also think about what I wanted to do in the future. And if there was a time that I thought I might be in law enforcement, of course, I thought better of that because, you can't wear heels apparently when you're a real police officer, right?
Right.
Okay.
Only in the movies.
Only in the movies. Exactly. So that kind of thwarted that for me. But I really certainly appreciate what you're doing in the community. And I want to segue into, obviously, you have all of this positivity and, you've even started your own platform, Rod Speaks. What fuels you? What inspires you to do all of this good work that you're doing?
So I think back to just when I was growing up, and the same thing with even being the police, but I just think about one of the things that I always say is I refuse to be broke. And I want to be able to meet up and connect with so many people that have the same mind frame, because if you help to promote other people, then that will naturally promote yourself. I used to model when I first moved here, and of course, I was like 100 pounds ago. I used to
Wait
do
a
shaver
minute. We
hair.
we definitely got to
Um,
get back into the modeling. I didn't know about
oh,
this.
oh yeah, it was crazy. It was so much fun. But so many people would hear about different experiences or different fashion shows or competitions that were coming up, and they wanted to hog the information to themselves. And as soon as I heard about it, I would get on the network and call people, and I'd say, "Hey, well, why don't you try this? Why don't you come here?" Because I felt that regardless of what it was, if they wanted to have a model drinking a bottle of water, they know exactly what they're looking for. If I'm the only person to show up and I'm not what they're looking for, they're just going to have another competition. But if I'm able to put someone in front of them that they are looking for, the person I put in front of them will then say, I got this because Roderique hooked me up. So now we've made that connection. And the same thing with speaking. I may not be Eric Thomas or Les Brown, but I'm able to impact a little bit of success or a little bit of change into someone's life. And there's been times, of course, I mean, nobody's positive 1000% of the time, but in a few times where I've been able to get down or I've, kind of second guess my stuff, someone will say, man, thank you for that video you posted the other day. You're doing a great job. I like it. I like listening to your videos. I was at work one day and I have this thing like if you walk fast, people think you're busy. So they don't stop you and talk to you. So I just kind of get
True.
to walking fast. And someone stopped me and says, I know you. And I'm thinking, well, I do a lot of stuff. It might be something from there. They were like, don't you make videos? Like, don't you make positive videos or success videos? I was like, yeah, man, I just want to thank you for making the video you made the other day. And it was quiet. It was cute because my alphabet letters of success. I took each letter of the alphabet, and then I came up with a word or an acronym for a word for each letter, and then made a 2-minute video on success and how you can equate that letter to your level of success. Well, for the letter Q, I just said quiet. And for that, I said, you can have people cheering you on and you could be the number one player in your sports league or, whatever it is. But when there's nobody cheering you on and nobody screaming your name and your name's not in the lights anywhere, what's motivating you? What's going to make you get up and work out in the morning? What's going to make you study for that test in the evening? What's going to make you not go out to the club when everybody else is going and just make you just kind of focus? And this is like when it's silent and it's quiet, it's just you. It's you that's going to motivate you. And you have to look at the person in the mirror and say that I can do it. So it's just a matter of being able to be a positive person because it's not like I've just invented the wheel and I'm telling people a lot of things that they already know. It's just that some people get so focused on life, they forget to live. And a quote that I used to like hearing is, you don't see the trees because of the forest. It's the exact same thing. But if you're looking at the big picture, all you see are a million trees. You can't look at one tree. So some people just need to take a step back and just kind of enjoy living, especially now in this coronavirus or COVID, year, every birthday from now on should be special because there's so many people that have lost their lives. Every day we wake up, there's so many people that just are not having that opportunity. And then even your wonderful platform, think about you started this during a time when so many other people were losing occupations and businesses that had been in for 20, 30, 60, 50, years or whatever. So there's been a lot of businesses to get started during this time. And a lot of businesses have even had to kind of change their platform. I was reading an article where a hotel in Detroit, Michigan was starting to go out of business. And a lot of people were coming there for the restaurant. So what they did was turn the rooms into private dining. So now people can come, make a reservation, eat in their own private room. And then I think they said maybe 40% of the people were going on and renting a room or, reserving a hotel room. So they would go there to their hotel room, come down, eat, enjoy their party with whoever, and now they're able to go back to the hotel room. So that was what saved that hotel. So this has caused a lot of people to have to think outside the block or think outside the box as to what it is that they need to do moving forward. And I was joking with somebody and they were talking about this is probably the worst year for kids because there's never going to be a snow day. Like You know, when you're growing up,
Right.
you're like, oh man, it's a snow day, no school. They're like, tune in to Zoom today for school. You know.
Trust me, we faced a lot of challenges in this household. I think about when we first started, and my son, who's a sophomore in high school, and he was just like, of course, he's on his laptop, and they also, this school, I'm very fortunate in the school district he's in, that not only are they issued laptops that have all of their books on them, plus they get books, and they also have iPads. And so technology is definitely their friend. And so I saw him out in the backyard, and I'm like, what are you doing with your iPad? And he was just like, this is for PE. I'm doing my PE video. And then,
Yeah.
the other thing is, I'm like, which he did very well on those, but it was funny. I got a couple of calls in the beginning of the school year from the teacher, and she's just like, Justin is sleeping in class in his bed, and we want to make sure that he keeps a shirt on, those kind of things that I'm just like, and it's an adjustment, like you said, for all of us across the board, but especially for our children, because I think about in our lifetime, we've never experienced anything like this. So it's definitely been a challenge, but I feel
Right.
like, again, so many positive things have come out of it. This platform being one, being able to tap into you and see Rod speaks. And, I know that I can speak to that. That's right. Rod speaks. When I am having a day, and you're seeking positivity, because whether you turn on the television, if you're looking online, even if you're on social media, obviously there's this overlying cloud of, COVID-19 and all the things and all the challenges that we're facing as a result of it, amongst other things that are happening. But that specifically. And so I look for positivity. And like you said, not everything is positive, but when you're sitting in the muck of a lot of unpositive situations and issues that are happening, you do want to find someone that is going to inspire you with a word. And what I really enjoy about your videos, they're short and sweet. They get to the point. You have so much energy that comes through. And I'm just like, okay, that's what I need. It's like a little cup of coffee, and then I'm off to the races and tackling those things that I need to tackle, and continuing to progress in a positive manner, if you will. I want to ask you this, because you kind of spoke to it about, starting businesses or rethinking your business in thinking outside of the box. And I know one of the things that I noted on, because I follow you, is just the social entrepreneurship and just really reaching out and connecting with other people. And I think you recently hosted a panel, and it was about motivating and uplifting. And I think it was called the closeout and what's
the
next.
closeout.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I tapped into that, and I was just like, we all face challenges on a daily basis. But what I love to hear is that there's solutions that are out there. And all you have to do is just be connected and be open and willing to, uh, really receive information. And let's face it, the way that we're sitting, I know for me, my job allows me to work from home a few days a week. So I'm soaking all this in, but tell me how you got to wanting to do this panel and the folks that were involved, and what do you see, as moments of success that are coming for 2021?
So again, I think so many people have their own story. And if you get to the root of it, some people, oh, well, I don't have anything that's important that anybody wants to hear. But truly, you do, whoever it is, everybody has some type of story. So on that panel, I was able to have one of my friends and coworkers, Joshua Shelton. He's the preaching police. He is literally an ordained minister. He goes out and can actually preach the gospel. He's able to recite Bible scriptures. And I mean, he is phenomenal when it comes to that. So I said, I wanted to do something with both he and I. Then I have a friend of mine who is a outstanding fitness instructor, started his own gym in Kentucky, Dale Robinson. He has Guru Fitness. And then I had Tracy Lee, Pastor Tracy Lee, and when I tell you someone who has a lot of hats, Pastor Tracy Lee wears a lot of hats, because she opened up her church for the homeless every winter so that they would have a place to go and be warm. She fed them out of her own pocket. She has a lot of non-for-profits that she's able to just do so much in the community. But yesterday when we did the community Santa Claus throughout the community, I said we need people that will be able to host a hot cocoa stand. So when I was in the midst of asking her, I said, Pastor Tracy, do you mind hosting? And she just said yes. Before I could even say whatever it was, I was like, whatever it was, she was just going to figure it out. She's like, I'll make it happen. So she was on our panel. Khadijah Warfield from Black Girls Break Bread, she was on the panel. And then it was moderated by my neighbor and my friend, like when I say my neighbor, like Ted literally lives like across the street.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
but I've seen him. He's like a political analyst, like political guru. So he can break down everything. I mean, he teaches politics and at the college level and things. But I've seen him moderate really important people. And I said, well, if he can moderate them, then I know he can do us. So everybody's backstory, preaching police, he's the police. Of course, we have our own, issues with being at work and being in the communities, but he's able to unite so many of the faith-based subcommittees or the faith-based in the Inglewood area. He's been asked to preach at a lot of different churches because with his youth, he's just young enough that young people can listen to him and then find word in the scripture. He's old enough that older people value the word when it comes from him. So he's kind of like that person that when you're on the fence, he can pull you in or pull you off of it. Dale Robinson, during his talk, he was even saying he had been in prison for maybe 10 years or something. When he got out, he was in shape. And when we went to high school together, and I've seen Dale as the quarterback running completely full speed at the sideline. And then as someone's going to tackle him, he maneuvers, he dodges it, and then turns on a dime right up the sideline, straight up touchdown. Phenomenal athlete. So he gets out. He's taken all his certifications to be a personal trainer. None of the gyms would hire him because of his background. So he said he had $40 and knew he wanted to start this business. He started it in his gym. Now he has well over 200-300 people in his gym, his own gym that is his building. He hosts a YouTube channel. He has, free Monday fitness tips and, Tuesday stuff. I mean, he's doing huge things.
He's a success story for sure.
Yes,
because when I saw the introductions, I was like, when he said that, I was just like, come again. And he said it again. I was just like, he must be listening to me. But I think it's a wonderful testament to, you may have made some poor choices in the past, but you are a representation that yes, you can turn your life around, and yes, you can be successful, and you can be impactful to other people. And so that was really inspiring to hear his story. And I loved the interaction between all of you, and that you had this congruent, focus to make sure that you are doing something to uplift your community. You're doing something to have a positive impact on others, and hopes that they'll continue to pay it forward. So that was a wonderful experience to listen to the replay of that panel. That was wonderful.
And then even with the panel, it was mainly because, I mean, we all know 2020 has been a horrendous year if you look at it as a totality of the year. But if you pick out certain things, like I said, you had so many businesses started, you had so many people that still got married and still were making promotions and still finding positivity in it. So I said, with all of what happened in 2020, if we could come together and just speak about what we can do or what we took from the positive, we can look at that into 2021 and say what we can do to be successful, be happy and everything in 2021. So that's what the whole point of it was. It's like, if you only focus on negativity, then when you get up, oh, I'm tired, I don't feel like going to work today, you're setting yourself up to receive tiredness and being frustrated at work. But when your feet hit the ground and you say, I want to be successful today at work, or I'm gonna have a great day, or I'm gonna be full of energy, you will have a better day. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's certain medical ailments that we all have. Oh, I got a bad back. Yeah, but it's good because I'm alive. So moving forward, we are all happy to be here, and especially making it through this COVID year. So whatever it is, just change your perspective and you'll be able to, enjoy whatever it is that you're trying to do. And of course, I equate it to success, because whatever your level of success is, you can reach it. It's just, you might need to take a step back and then go forward again, or, you know, be a bridge builder to your success, because you might only make it so far, but if you've laid the pathway for someone else, they now have a running start to get to where you are, and then they can leap forward. So your success might be one place to get someone else to another. And then, like I was saying the other day, we are our future great grandkids ancestors.
Yeah.
So all of the decisions that we're making now are going to impact people 1,000 years from now.
Mm.
So,
Talk about lifting as we climb, which I tell you, it's a mantra. I'm trying to tell you, it's a mantra here, but I think that's wonderful. And just to kind of digress a little bit, I know that this has been a heck of a year. And, you know, you wear another great hat that I think should definitely be, or many hats, I should say, that should definitely be celebrated, is that you're a husband and a father. And, you know, and obviously you're protecting the community too. And I know that that has to be, you know, there's times that I think about my Uncle Booker, who was an OPD, Oakland police officer. And, you know, every time we would see him, even if he had to chastise me, I knew how important it was to make sure that I gave him those extra hugs and kisses, because, you know, in the wake of COVID, nothing is promised, but definitely when you're out there and you're putting your life on the line, nothing is promised, and you're still doing in the midst of COVID. So not only are you protecting, but then also you're subjecting yourself possibly to contracting something to protect us. And so with that being said, how do you maintain that balance of what you do in your professional, you know, life, and also maintaining the stability of the beautiful Black family at home?
So when COVID first hit, my wife was like, as soon as you come in the house, regardless, everything off, dial soap, antibacterial soap, full body, wash everything. So now everybody, of course, we have like our, you know, we have our relax, you know, we've laxed a little bit, right? But still to this day, I mean, we get in the car, man, I don't even know where my wife keeps getting all of this you know, I mean, the
look, wives, we're resourceful. Wives and mothers are resourceful.
Man, I'm telling you, we get it. I mean, every time she gets in the car, she's pumping, and then she's pumping all the kids in the car, you know, sanitizing and everything. And then we have a thing where we'll sanitize the steering wheel, just because you want to make sure that whatever you may have missed or whatever's on the wheel, we can do the armrest. I mean, not the armrest, the gear shift and everything. But I mean, I don't know where she keeps getting all the sanitizer from, and then dial soap and everything. And then people have, of course, hit their you know, the toilet tissue, the paper towels. My wife is, hey, we need this, and she's making everything happen. Like I don't know how she does it. I mean, from grocery shopping to, I mean, she just makes it happen. So I don't really have any fear. She has a whole plethora of cough medicines, vitamin C, vitamin D. The kids have Dr. Earl's or something, like, you know, and that's the nastiest stuff, but she found it like in a honey flavor. Now it comes out like goop, but the kids like it. So she's, you know, making them have emergency, the C. So you pour it into the drink and you get, like, you know, vitamin C in your system. Even during this, I mean, during COVID, the girls' hair is always done. My wife will not let the kids, and my kids know they're not allowed to go out of the house with a bonnet on. Like, that's a no-no. Like, they don't go with the wrap, you know, how you women wrap your hair at night. They're not allowed to go outside. Our mailbox is connected to the house. They cannot check the mail with a bonnet on. Like, you just reach out, and no, they're not allowed to.
It's all about representation. And I think that you guys have really set a great foundation for them. I enjoy looking at your family online and all the wonderful things that you're doing and you're emulating for them, because this is generational. I know the reason why I feel so inspired to do the things that I do is because the groundwork was laid with my parents, my grandparents, and I was fortunate enough to have my great grandmother present and accounted for. And she was the queen. She was a part of this society called the Dorcas Society, where they definitely were staples in the community and making sure that everyone had. And if they found out that someone in the community went without, they made it a point to make them their personal project and make sure that they had something. And it wasn't about going to them and just, sharing the word, but it was also about just being human and,
Yeah.
making sure that people were able to maintain their dignity. So that was where my foundation lies. And I'm pleased to pass that on to my children and hopefully not any day soon, but my grandchildren. So yeah,
Right.
it's
So
a
I'm
it's a
also a
wonderful
member of
thing.
the 100 Black Men, and we do we're like a premier mentoring program. So we've had a lot of people to come in the organization that are in their own regard in an extremely successful position. I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, which is the best fraternity out there. So any of
Okay.
your viewers that are like, no, no, like, hey, sorry, it's the best there
Hey, you
is.
got to rep with yours, right?
Right.
Absolutely. Well, with that being said, oh, I love it. You came prepared to rep it too. That's what's
Right.
up. I love it. Well, before we start closing down, I want my viewers and my listeners to know how can they get a hold of you and how can they get this positivity that I've been talking about and I know other people have been so blessed with.
So if you would do me the favor, all of your viewers, do me the favor, please follow me at Rod McClain Speaks on both Instagram and Facebook. It's that easy to find me. I'm starting my YouTube page. There's nothing on it right now, but go ahead and go to that and just follow it too, because I'm gonna just share a
Subscribe.
lot of
Yeah.
information. So it's gonna be Rod McClain Speaks. And if you have something that you would like me to even talk about or to find your own individual motivation, Rod McClain Speaks at gmail.com. And I respond to emails. So it's that easy. At Rod McClain Speaks on everything you can think of except like Twitter, because I think Twitter just requires you to like be connected to the phone like all day long. But I can do Facebook, Instagram, and email. So and YouTube. So at Rod McClain Speaks. And I mean, to be honest, I mean, just being able to be on here, this has been a huge kind of boost to my own self-esteem, just knowing that I've seen the people that you have on, and they're like all like successful entertainers, the hospital, I'm not hospital, the nurse, I'm not hotel. I've
Yes.
seen like so many of the authors, and then even the guy that was on there, everybody's like, well, I know there's a lot of ladies wanting to know if you're single. And he's, yeah, well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. So it's been really good being able to see your growth, see all the people that you've been able to speak with and be able to make a platform for them or for us all to be able to, share our information. So to me, this has been outstanding. I mean, as soon as you even asked, would I be interested? I'm immediately, yes, yes, yes. So I'm extremely thankful. I'm extremely humbled. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Rod. And let me tell you, you're right up there with all of them. I mean, we all have our contributions, and I think of you often. Obviously, I come to your page for positivity, but what you're doing, the work that you're doing, both in, you being a motivational speaker, but also as you're protecting us all, we appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's really important that our youth see that someone who is in law enforcement, they're doing positive things, they're there to support and protect, and also they're successful, they have a
Mm-hmm.
family, and still managing to be a community advocate and also help you find your own path of success. So for that, I thank you so very much. And
Mm-hmm.
the extreme sacrifice that you and your family make on a daily basis is much appreciated and should be applauded. So thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Absolutely. The other thing, I always like to give my guests an opportunity to give any shout outs. I mean, we're coming to the end of a epic year, and I'm going to look at the positive side because you helped me with that. But we're coming to the end of an epic 2020, and we're fast approaching 2021, and we want to go into that with success. But all like you said a little bit ago, our success is all garnered around the people who support us and lift us up. And so, if there's anyone or any people that you would like to give a shout out to, this is your platform, sir. Go right ahead.
Well, obviously, I definitely have to say thank you to my wife because she puts up with I mean, it's like I'm like a duck on the ground. I mean, above the water, but my feet just So she's just like, stop, slow down, and even with all my videos, I'll, run past her. What do you think about this? No, you got to change this. You need to, my thought plan. So definitely for my wife, and my kids, I don't even know how to do the circle thing on Instagram. So my daughter like does my, thing where it comes up so you can see like it's something been shared. Of course, I have cousins. So my cousin Tasha, my brand consultant Brett, my brother, everybody. It's just like it's so many people.
It's a
But
family affair.
yeah, so I just really am thankful and humbled that when I felt like, so I started speaking a long time ago. I would say maybe 6 years ago. I did it off and on, then stopped. Then I did it maybe 4 years ago. I got in touch with a guy that is an actual speaker, and he talked to me and he was like, man, I like what you're doing, but you got to just stop pretty much everything. So I literally gave up. I just stopped. But then I had so many other people, man, you should try this. You keep going doing this. So to all the people that believed in me when I actually just kind of was just on the highway of life, just sitting there, thank you. And then even to the people that didn't believe in me, that only wanted to be a part of the ride to see me fail, thank you, because they just keep on motivating me. So same thing for everybody out there. Just whoever is in your circle, you have to surround yourself with people that want to see you succeed, but you also have to make sure that you are succeeding because you want to. And it feels so much better when people don't think you can do it. So
Oh,
when
yeah.
you still succeed, just, do it, do your
I
best.
love
So,
it. We'll talk about motivation, right? Even from the haters, you can get that motivation. Well,
yes.
as we are getting ready to close, again, I cannot thank you enough for coming and blessing my platform on my final episode of 2020.
Woo-hoo.
Ooh,
The closeout. And that was the
Absolutely.
name of the Zoom too, like the closeout. So it didn't
Absolutely.
even resonate.
And
Mhm.
I also want to wish everyone a wonderful holiday season. Happy New Year. 2020, and I won't use any four-letter words, was pretty difficult, but we are
Right.
going to continue to push forward. We're going to lift as we climb. We're going to reach out to
Lift as we
Rod.
climb.
That's right. We're going to reach out to Rod, get that positivity that we need to sail into 2021 and be successful and make a difference and uplift each other in our communities. And I always say, you have to definitely loop into that community network, take care of each other. But you know what? More importantly, you must take care of yourself. So, with
Mm.
that being said, thank you. Happy New Year's. It's been a hell of a 2020, and I'm ready for 2021.